I think we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. So very glad you're here. I did want to let everybody know that we're going to record this session and we'll send out the link so that if you want to share this with other people, you can. That said, if you are camera shy or microphone shy, and when it comes to our question and answer period, if you are not comfortable asking on screen, you can send your questions to the chat or through chat, and Esmeralda, Kent, or I, one of us will pick it up and ask the question for you. During the presentation portion, I'm going to ask if you'll mute yourselves, just because, other than our speaker, because it helps to cut down on background noise. But absolutely, once we're finished with the presentation portion and we get into the discussion and comments and questions, please feel free to jump right on in there. So I want to introduce our speaker for today. Thomas Mason IV is a parishioner at Sacred Heart Cathedral in Davenport, and he is the head of the St. Martin de Porres Society, and that's what he's going to be talking about with us today. So, Mr. Mason.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody today? Good? All right. All right, today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit briefly about St. Martin's de Porres. I'll start off with a little brief background on St. Martin's de Porres, and then I'll give a little background on our society, and then we can go into questions and answers. So again, good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for taking time to join us today. And I am the current president, chairman. Jim Collins calls me president. I'm listed as chairman in the official bulletin, but president, chairman of the St. Martin's de Porres Society at Sacred Heart Cathedral. Most of us know that November 3rd is the feast of St. Martin. However, did you know that the month of November is designated as a Black Catholic History Month? It was so designated in 1990 by the National Black Catholic Clergy Caucus of the United States. It is my honor to share with you a brief historical overview of our patron saint, St. Martin de Porres. Martin was born December 9th, 1579 in Lima, Peru, the illegitimate son of a Spanish nobleman, John de Porres, and a freed Negro slave woman from Panama, Ana Velasquez. A few years following his birth, Martin's father abandoned the family as he was ashamed of their Anna, Martin, and younger sister, Jana, dark complexion. Anna was left to take care of Martin and Jana by doing laundry. They lived in extreme poverty and hardship. But even as a young boy, Martin was always trying to help others and constantly visited Jesus in the Catholic Church and the Blessed Sacrament. People began to notice this young mulatto, one white and one Black parent, boy with a remarkable piety and charity. Around the age of 12, Martin decided he wanted to study to be a barber. At that time, a barber was trained to not only cut hair, but included some medical practice, such as binding wounds and fractures, bloodletting, and even prescribing medication to patients. A barber was essentially a surgeon, doctor, and pharmacist. Anna reached out to Martin's father, and he paid for Martin to become an apprentice as a barber. Martin had a keen intellect and quickly excelled at his studies and his training, and soon became well known all throughout Peru. Martin loved his profession as it enabled him to perform works of mercy to the poor and the suffering. He never charged anyone for his services. He could have been a very wealthy man. At the age of 16, Martin left his profession of barber and entered the Dominican vocation as an associate. It was the law in Peru at the time that barred Africans and Indians from becoming full members of religious orders. Thus, Martin performed lowly tasks such as sweeping floors and cleaning the latrines. However, he was very happy to be abject and lowly in service to God and his fellow man. In his early life at the monastery, Martin exhibited such high levels of virtue, even though he experienced severe treatment and constant rebukes, often referred to as a mulatto dog by his fellow monks. Having been tested, he was soon asked to resume his former profession as a barber and take over the infirmary services to the 300 monks at the monastery. The most ably performed not only those duties, but continued, he most ably performed not only those duties, but continued his services of mercy in the community. Many of Martin's nights were spent in prayer and potential practices. His days were filled with nursing the sick and caring for the poor. It was particularly impressive that he treated all people regardless of their color, race, or status. He was instrumental in establishing an orphanage, took care of slaves brought from America, and managed the daily alms of priority. Martin's life reflected God's extraordinary gifts, ecstasies that lifted him into the air, light filling the room where he prayed, by location, miraculous knowledge, instantaneous cures, and remarkable rapport with animals. His charity extended to beasts of the field and even to vermin of the kitchen. He kept and cared for stray cats and dogs at his sister's house. Martin became a formidable fundraiser, tongue twister, obtaining thousands of dollars for dowries for poor girls so that they could marry or enter a convent. While only a mere lay brother, many of his fellow religious asked Brother Martin to adopt them as a spiritual sons. He was to serve as a model for them all. At the age of 60, Brother Martin contracted quartan fever, which is known as malaria, and very calmly and peacefully died Thursday night at 9 p.m. on November 3rd, 1639. The Archbishop of Mexico City was in the room when Brother Martin breathed his last breath. He told the monks that Martin demonstrated how one is to live and die. Martin was beatified and declared by the Catholic Church as among the blessed and entitled to religious honor by Pope Gregory. I'm bad with Roman numerals. I believe it's the 26th on October 29th, 1837. Martin was canonized and declared a saint in the Catholic Church by Pope John the 23rd on May 6, 1962. He is the first Black person in the Western Hemisphere to be formally canonized by the Catholic Church. At Martin's canonization in 1962, Pope John the 23rd remarked, "He excused the faults of others. He forgave the Bitterfest injuries, convinced that he deserved much severer punishments on account of his own sins. He tried with all of his might to redeem the guilty. Lovingly, he confirmed the sick. He provided food, clothing, and medicine for the poor. He helped as he best could farm laborers and Negroes, as well as mulattoes who were looked upon at that time as akin to slaves. Thus, he deserved to be called by the name the people gave him, Martin of Charity." St. Martin is recognized as a patron saint of African Americans, barbers, the broom, menial task of service, charity, universal brotherhood, innkeepers, people of mixed race, public health workers, and social justice. Although St. Martin was the first and is still the only Black in the Western Hemisphere to be formally canonized by the Catholic Church, we're blessed to have 6 Black American candidates for sainthood who live sacramental spirit-filled lives. And I'll just briefly give you some information on these other folks. Venerable Pierre Toussaint, 1766 to 1853. He was born in Haiti and brought to New York City as a slave. He died a free man, a renowned businessman. As one of New York City's most well-known Catholics, credited by many with being the father of Catholic Charities in New York. Mother Mary Lang, 1794 to 1882. She founded the Oblate Sisters of Providence in Baltimore, Maryland in 1829. They became the first successful religious community for women of African descent. Mother Henriette DeLille, 1813 to 1862, born a free woman in New Orleans. She founded the Sisters of the Holy Family in 1842. The community ministered to slaves at the time when educating slaves was illegal. Julia Greeley, born between 1833 and 1848, died around 1919. Born into slavery in Hannibal, Missouri, she entered the Catholic Church at Sacred Heart Parish in Denver in 1880 and had a devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. She became Denver's Angel of Charity. And one local is Father Augustus Tolton, 1854 to 1897, born into slavery in Missouri. He escaped slavery with his mother and his siblings by crossing the Mississippi River into freed Illinois. He was ordained in Rome, 1886, became seminary in the U.S., or excuse me, he was ordained in Rome because no seminary in the U.S. Could admit him. He was later assigned to the Diocese of Springfield, Illinois, and became pastor in the parish in Quincy, and thus recognized as the first Black Catholic American priest. How blessed and unique we are at Sacred Heart Cathedral to have St. Martin de Porres as a special patron saint and ministry at our parish. However, St. Martin de Porres is a recognized saint across America. You can find St. Martin de Porres schools in Waukegan and Chicago, Illinois, Prosper, Texas, Columbia, South Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can find St. Martin de Porres churches in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Chicago, Yorba Linda, California, Poughkeepsie, New York. You can find SMD hospitals in Mobile, Alabama, and Las Vegas, Nevada. There is at least one other St. Martin de Porres society that Jim Collins was able to research. It's at St. Matthias Catholic Church in Somerset, New Jersey. Like our society, it encourages dialogue, understanding, and awareness of Black Catholics' cultural differences and contributions. Also in keeping with the mission and challenge of St. Martin, the society is committed to serving God, the infirm, the poor, the parish, and community services. There's at least one St. Martin de Porres Community Center. It is located in Springfield, Illinois, and under the Diocese of Springfield. It provides for the distribution to the needy of food, clothing, and household items. So that's a little bit of background on St. Martin de Porres. And now we'll go into a little bit of the background on our society at Sacred Heart, for which is named after St. Martin's. It's my pleasure again to present you with a brief history of our society and its accomplishments. It is ironic that we're just finishing up with this National Catholic or November event during the Black Catholic History Month. And even more, it was in the fall of 1985 when the St. Martin's de Porres Society was founded at Sacred Heart Cathedral. So thus we celebrate the 35th anniversary of this ministry in our parish and community. In the early 1980s, there was a deep economic recession in the Quad Cities, which had significant negative impact on the cathedral. The surrounding hilltop neighborhood, affectionately known as Cork Hill, representative of its rich Irish ancestry. The diocese's spiritual leadership at the time was under Bishop O'Keefe. The Sacred Heart Cathedral pastor was Monsignor Sebastian Minke, retired 10th president of St. Ambrose College. The cathedral's parochial vicar appointed in 1985 under Monsignor Minke was Father Marvin Mottet. All three men were dedicated to social action principles coming out of the reforms of the Second Vatican Council. Father Mottet's appointment to Sacred Heart Cathedral followed some 7 years of appointment as National Director of the U.S. Bishop's Domestic Anti-Poverty Program and Executive Director of the Catholic Campaign for Human Development in Washington, D.C. Prior to that, he had served as a founder and director of the Diocesan Social Action Department from 1969 to 1978. And prior to that, he was instrumental when he was a seminarian. He helped founding of the Davenport Catholic Interracial Council. In the fall of 1985, Father Mottet collaborated with cathedral parishioner Andrew Edlin, a Black lay leader in the parish. They became the co-founders of the Cathedral Sacred Heart's St. Martin de Porres Society. In addition to Father Mottet's credentials listed earlier, Andrew brought to the table his experience as a Black Catholic businessman / government professional as he was employed at the Rock Island Arsenal Command. The Edlin family had been Catholic for years before coming to Davenport, and Andrew was one of the early Blacks historically inducted into the Knights of Columbus in 1961 when he joined the Carroll Council 377 in Washington, D.C. In addition to Andrew's involvement at Sacred Heart, he was active in the Catholic Interracial Council and served as chair, Education Committee of the MetroCom branch of the NAACP. Together, they founded the St. Martin's de Porres Society with the St. Martin Challenge to model the saint of universal brotherhood to share and celebrate Black Catholic cultural differences, contributions, and evangelization of Blacks and others into our faith and church, and to realize the command to be servants to one another. With Father Mott and Andy as co-founders of the society, some of the charter founding members included Father Mott, Dorothy and Andy Edlin, my parents, Mary and Thomas Mason III, Roberts, Ron Pate, and Dr. Kathleen Twiner. Presidents of the society have been Andrew Edlin, our first president, and then Dorothy, followed by his wife, Dorothy, Evelyn McGrath, and then his other daughter, Andrea Edlin, and then my predecessor, Jim Collins. And again, I'm the current president of the society. 35 years of living, growing, and sustaining the St. Martin Challenge through the Sacred Heart Cathedrals. St. Martin Support Society has included, but not limited to, the following. 1986 Black Catholic Day Feast of St. Martin's Mass, concelebrated by Bishop Gerald O'Keefe and Bishop Terry Steeb, Black Auxiliary Bishop of St. Louis. The Holy Family Gospel Choir of Chicago performed. I remember that. I was a freshman at St. Ambrose at the time, so I remember attending that. Annually, Sacred Heart Cathedral has recognized the Feast of St. Martin, which is November 3rd, in some manner. In 1987, five delegates from Sacred Heart / the St. Martin Sports Society participated in the National Black Catholic Congress in Washington, D.C. The society has been supportive of numerous cathedral ministries with time, talent, and treasures, especially the Sacred Heart Food Pantry and the Sacred Heart Cathedral Clothing Center. Quad Cities Crop Hunger Walk fundraiser participant for many years. The past 9 years, Sacred Heart Cathedral has received the Golden Shoe Award, where we have raised a minimum of $1,000 to help support world, national, and local hunger needs. And St. Martin's de Porres has taken the lead for the past 9 years as part of our ministry to do this for the cathedral. St. Martin's de Porres members help with monthly Christian service meal at the Salvation Army. The members support Catholic Worker House with bus token fundraiser, fellowship meals, and program planning. We've collaborated with other church-related organizations, for example, Churches United, QC Interfaith, and Punch, People United Neighbors and Churches. We've collaborated with NETS, Davenport Police and Police and Neighborhoods Energized to Succeed. We've also collaborated with the City of Davenport Neighborhood Clean Project, participate as a volunteer in the Sacred Heart Cathedral Church Cleaning Committee. Sacred Heart logo was designed by SMD member Evelyn McGrath, and she was former chairman of the society. Generated T-shirt and sweatshirt sales, allowing the society to be one of the few Sacred Heart Cathedral ministries to support the Diocesan Hall Capital campaign. He has collaborated with the Sacred Heart office to administer the Giving Tree Ministry, where the Sacred Heart family finding themselves in need at Christmas time could receive support from their church family. The society also supports a Black History Month presentation at All Saints Catholic Schools, and starting in 2012, and with an essay contest started in 2015. And every year, my wife and I are judges of that, and as well as some other members. We look forward to seeing the fifth grade students and their essays on the impact of they can pick whatever Black leader they wish, and the impact of what they've done for society. So that's a unique project. And we also give it I think we award out $100 in gift cards to the top 3 essays. Under the Punch umbrella, the society has participated in community gardens ministry, Cork Hill Park Easter egg hunt and picnic, and the Thanksgiving Day community dinner. We do that over at First Baptist over there, and my family has personally participated this year we couldn't because of COVID, but 3 years prior to that, we've participated. We really enjoy doing that. It helps us ground our children to be able to see people that they see that day, that sometimes that's their only meal they're going to have, and we make our children sit down and sit with people there in the room and talk to them and find out about their day and engage with them so that they can understand how fortunate and everything they are, and everything that they can appreciate what they have more. So we look forward, hopefully the pandemic being over next year, to be able to participate in that again. In 2019, the Sacred Heart Cathedral and St. Martin's Support Society hosted the Hilltop Community Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration, where over 300 people were in attendance. In 2020, in response to the national racial unrest, St. Martin's Support Society drafted a statement reaffirming our strong opposition to racism that was published in the Catholic Messenger. And also in 2020, in response to the national racial unrest, the St. Martin's Support Society hosted a community discussion on race and racism in our diocesan hall. And that was led by Ryan Sadler, who's the Associate Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at St. Ambrose. And that was a pretty well discussion. We had some technical difficulties with people over Zoom, but for the next one, we're going to collaborate together, hopefully with the diocese, and we'll get those bugs worked out so we can have more participants. So I hope this overview has been helpful to you in understanding the service and accomplishments of our society over the past 35 years. Even more so, it might leave you in some insight to provide suggestions for sustaining the society going forward. So now we'll open it up to Q&A. And I'll try and answer your questions. If I don't have them today, I'll be more than happy to get the answers and email them or get them to Amy and Kent, and they can get the answers back to you guys. So.
I should say something because it makes noise. Okay.
Well, Thomas, thank you so much for that. I guess I have a couple of questions for you, maybe one question. You guys are extremely active in your parish and your community. And so I'm just curious, like, I know it may vary by year, but what is your membership like? What's your typical number of people who are involved in this?
It varies. We have probably officially on our rolls as memberships, we probably have 25 members. Some of them have been, like some of the founding members, like Mrs. Roberts and Mr. Pate. That aren't as active as now, but we also have, I think in regular attendance, we probably have anywhere from 4 to 8 members. We meet the second Sunday of every month. We're looking to change that up because as we're trying to reach more out to the diocese and be available in during maybe have an evening meeting, or maybe this lunch and learn might be able to gather more people as well. So we're looking for different ideas. But anywhere, I bring my children as to help out when we do events, or we're volunteering for different other ministries. But so I'd say it varies, but like I said, officially on our rolls as official members, we have about 25 people, but and we get anywhere from 4 to 8 members at our regular meetings.
So when you say to reach out and open things up to the rest of the diocese, are you open to having members who are not part of Sacred Heart Parish?
Yes, because we're part of this. We look at the cathedral as the bishop's church, and so it's and since it's the bishop's church, it's the diocesan church. So, and with the Sears Hall and the campaign for that, we look at it that this is everybody in the Diocese of Davenport. We want to reach out, and we want to educate people about Black Catholics and the Black Catholic history, answer questions, and it seems fitting time with all the social unrest that's going on in today's society that we unite and bring people together, and what better way to do it through the church. And like I said, we want to reach out to other dioceses and educate them, and throughout or not reach out more churches within the diocese to educate them. So we're open to anybody that's in the Diocese of Davenport, or anybody that wants to learn more about St. Martin's Supporters, or do more with our ministry to join us.
Tom, this is Jim T.G. If I can ask a question. I know you and I have talked a little bit about that change of meeting time, and I highly would encourage that. Maybe that's a selfish reason for myself, but I just have a hard time with meeting on Sundays. But I do think there's the timing could not be better, given what you said, the state of affairs in the country, and hopefully a movement towards a little bit more open-minded thinking than we've had here for the last 4 years.
Yes.
So I guess I would just hope that maybe, maybe the opportunity during this COVID time is to build on what you're doing now, only more publicity and maybe, just getting the message out and getting more members from other parishes. I like that idea.
Yes, what we're trying to do, I've drafted an email. I need to get it sent to Father Rich for his permission. We'd like to have a page dedicated on the Sacred Heart Cathedral website, dedicated to the St. Martin's de Porres Society to help educate people about the society and explain what the society does and what we're all about. And then we'd also like to extend that as part of that permission. We'd like to have Father Rich authorize us to, as well, to have a Facebook page for those as a social media to make awareness of to people as well. And especially when we're doing events or other things we're doing with the ministry, we want people, like I said, to spread the word and the news of what's going on so people can attend and be a part of it. We plan on, I reached out to Kent and Amy to do a follow-up, Jim, which you attended the first one of racial unity discussion. We want to do a follow-up. The first one, for the folks that weren't able to attend, that one was more of Ryan giving background of the Catholic Church and discussion about racial unity, and he a lot of the talking. It went very, very well, but we looked at it. We want to hear comments from the people in attendance and get their thoughts and have them talk out and speak, about their feelings. And so that's our next level, and we'd like to do that at the diocesan level or in collaboration with the diocese, so that way we can draw more people and start to spread the word of about our society and how we help people.
Thank you, Tom.
Thomas, I would
Yes.
love, this is Barb from the Catholic Messenger. If you do that racial unity discussion, I sat in on a racial a talk with on racism that Amy and Deacon Steve Barton, I think, led. And I think it would be so helpful for people like me to be able to hear from people like you. I want to hear stories. I want to hear about your life. I want to hear about maybe your experience with racism. I think we need to listen, and I would just really like to hear more from people so that I understand better, where I'm coming from. I'm reading Brian Massengale's book on racism and in the church, and it's really sobering. And I think you and other, Black Catholics could help us better understand what your experience has been like and how we can understand one another and work together. And I'd really like to be a part of that.
Awesome. Yes. We're next month, our typically in January, we have our strategic planning meeting for what would laying out what we're going to do for the upcoming year, what projects we'd like to do. One that we weren't able to do because of the outbreak, we had a tour set up of the African American Museum, which is in Cedar Rapids. It's supposed to take place on the 21st of November. But due to the influx and the wider spread of COVID, we decided to cancel that trip. And but we postponed it. We're hoping to be able to do it next November, so that way we can take people from the diocese, or have other people from the diocese meet us there, as well, and take a tour of that, so you get a true cultural understanding of African American history.
Jane, did you have a?
Yes, I do. I want to double back on what Barb was saying. I would like to see an article from time to time in the Catholic Messenger. I do read the Catholic Messenger. I didn't even know that there was, this society until I went to Sacred Heart Church, which is not my usual place, but I went there on November 3rd because I wanted the peace from all the political things that were going on, and that was a special time, and I enjoyed it. I didn't even stay the whole time, but on my way out, I picked up this calendar of
Mhm.
the St. Martin de Porres Society. I was never even aware that there was such a thing. And so that would, and I read the different bios that you mentioned today. And I just read it and I thought, well, I hope I get to learn more about this, but I wasn't sure how. And so I'm happy to be on this. And it also goes back to what we just started at St. Anthony Church. I think it was 4 times we discussed from bishops, open wide our hearts. And I know that there was one Black person on there. There were a couple of Hispanic, but I'm always looking as a white person how I can increase my dialogue, I guess, with people of other races. And so I would just like to learn more. I wouldn't be going to look for it on Facebook because I wasn't even aware it was such a thing.
Right.
Same thing, but I would have picked up on it in the Catholic Messenger, as well as plenty of people who are not on Facebook, like
Right.
perhaps older people
Mhm.
and whatever. I just think that would be a good place to put several articles or things, and I'm sure
Well-
Barb will help you because of being the editor.
Yeah, and
Well,
we
what-
did actually have something on the St. Martin de Porres Society, I think 2 weeks ago in the
2 weeks
Catholic
ago, yes,
Messenger.
yes, we
but
did, yes.
But we are
Yeah, I
happy
think I
to
might have
continue
seen
to do more. And we're actually going to have a series on racial justice that starts in January. And so you can look forward to that.
Great, fantastic.
Yep, and we also did for National Black Catholic History Month, each week we had a saint. Like we started off with telling about National Black Catholic History Month, and then the one week was the bishops. The 3 African bishops were featured in the bulletin. Then each week thereafter, we had some Black Catholic that was significant to the church and what their achievements were and contributions to the Catholic Church.
Well,
in the bulletin.
I probably read them. I wasn't aware that they came
Yeah.
from your society.
Yeah.
St. Martin.
It was in
Now
Sacred
I'll be
Heart's
more-
Cathedral. It was in Sacred Heart Cathedral's bulletin, but that leads me to be into getting the word out, and we can put it in other church bulletins, so we can forward that information on to the
It
other.
would be great because I
That way,
don't
like I said,
normally.
if you're a member of St. Anthony's, this way you'll
Right.
see the information as well. So
Sure.
that's what I was leading to, was that gives
Right.
give me thought to get that out to the different.
It'd be
Take it
great.
a step further. Instead of just Sacred Heart's bulletins, let's get it to
Sure.
every. So thank you for that, Jane.
Roxy, did you have something?
I do have a question. First, I have a comment. I wanted to thank you for the presentation, and I was thinking of the time I was a member at Sacred Heart and the wonderful leadership of people like Andrew and Dorothy and your parents and Archie Sylvan and all those wonderful leaders that were at Sacred Heart. Justice leaders, they really were. Justice leaders.
Yeah, I remember just telling Jim Collins, remember going a lot of times with my dad over there at Sacred Heart at night and delivering, especially during the holidays and Thanksgiving, delivering baskets and clothes to people. You know, Sacred Heart has a rich tradition of supporting the neighborhood and helping the poor. And now St. Martin's de Porres is kind of taken on that role, but we kind of, like I said, it's a perfect segue into today's society with the social unrest and everything, to make people more aware of the racial unity and how we all need to be brothers and sisters as one, and to spread the word. As I mentioned, and I'd sent an email out about the first Black Cardinal that was just announced by the Pope. Yeah, yes. And so I sent that out, and I said, and I truly do believe this, that the only way we're going to get through with the society and what's going on is through, our spiritualness, and, with love, hope, and prayer and education, I think we're going to be able to get through to people and change the culture. And, but it's going to take more than a village. It's going to take a society to be able to do this and to get us back into racial harmony, so. But yeah, Loxie, I remember, like I said, as a kid growing up, just all the neat things, the social action that the Sacred Heart did. And like I said, all my parents had 6 kids. We all piled in the station wagon and helped out. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
My question was, has there ever been memberships of anyone that wasn't Catholic?
Not that I'm aware of. I'd have to go research that with Jim and Andrea, because I was at Sacred Heart through college, and then I took some time off. And then when I first got married, we were at Lourdes, and then we went to St. Anthony's, and then we came back to Sacred Heart. And but I would have to do some research on that. But I know. I want to say it's one of some of the that they brought a gospel choir or something. I think some people from Illinois came over, but I'm not sure if they were Catholic, from the Catholic parishes over there, or just from Illinois, from a different Illinois church.
Okay.
And Kent, did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yes, I'm going to have to watch this when it's on YouTube. My dog has been barking like crazy, so I missed a lot of the things that you were saying. I was part of the Zoom meeting with Jane and Loxie from St. Anthony's on Open Wide Our Hearts, the pastoral letter on racism. Did you say that you are wanting to involve other parishes in what
Yes.
you're doing? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. That's our goal, is to reach out to the various parishes within our diocese and make them aware of St. Martin's Support Society, and to see how St. Martin Support Society can help educate their parishes on Black Catholic history.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
This is Jim TG. I have to leave this meeting now, but I was thinking about just at Sacred Heart, but also how we get the message out when we talk about hearing experiences that people have had. I just love talking to Jim Collins and hearing his story about, what life was like when he went up to Dubuque and that kind of thing.
Yes,
but
I've heard those stories as well. Yes.
But I was thinking about, like our Sodality group at Sacred Heart, and they're always looking for something to bring to the table at their meeting once a month. And I think of our Knights of Columbus and think about, we think about what we want to talk about, maybe to make it more than just a business meeting. And I think that's as if we could expand the group out, I think, it's nice to get it on a large scale, but sometimes we can do it on a smaller scale and expand from there. And
yes.
So and I thank you for your time. I'm going to head out of here now.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
Okay. Bye now.
Let's see. Well, I'm not unmuted, am I? Oh, this is Mary McHugh. I don't think you can hear me.
Yep.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. I just wanted to I didn't know if you have a relationship with the school system, the Catholic school system, but there's the Southern Poverty Leadership Conference has a program and all kinds of materials and things called Teaching Tolerance that I've shared with some of the public schools and I was sitting in. I think it's really a wonderful way to start really young with children to realize this history that's been left out a lot of times. So
Yes.
I just made a suggestion. I'd be glad to try to get a copy of that and send it. I had it for
Yes,
years.
I would like. Yes, that'd be great.
Okay.
If you could get that to Amy, that'd be great. We do right now. Our current relationship with the Catholic schools is with All Saints, and which is formerly Holy Family School, when Sacred Heart and Saint Alphonsus and Holy Family all merged. So now it's called All Saints. We have that, and that's our affiliations with them. And we'd host a Black History Month essay, and we do the Black History Month presentation.
Yeah, right.
Yes, but we'd like to expand that as well, in to the other schools. And currently, I'm working with Assumption High School to assist them as well in that area.
Thomas, I hate to keep jumping in and out just because of connectivity.
Yep.
But what I want to be able to say is, as you proceed with strategic plans in January with the society, know that whatever assistance the diocese can provide in making sure that the society is known across the diocese will be supported. And additionally, I would again encourage you to look at the possibility of parish memberships in order
Yes.
that there can be representatives from not only the Davenport Deanery, but the other 5 as well.
Yes,
That
okay.
what we're getting as a response is the same type of response that you're getting from participants on this call, which is a desire to learn more, to not only appreciate racial injustices, ultimately to become anti-racism in the process, and no better way than to hear from fellow Catholics as to how best to go about it.
Yes. Thank you. We'll most certainly do that.
Yes, Joe Welter in Iowa City. I don't know, have you met any of the Congolese or Sudanese that we have in Iowa City? We have quite a few parishioners at St. Mary in Iowa City that have come from Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan in the last 5 to 10 years. They're a very vibrant, energetic group. Several diocesan events have had the Congolese choir at it. I don't know if you've met anybody from that group.
No, personally, I've not. No.
I think we need to figure out some way to get you in contact with some of the people in that group so that they're aware of you and you're aware of them. And I think it seems like a really good match to me. So I'll try to get your contact. Can I get your contact information through Amy?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'll try to, I got a couple of people that I'm thinking of that would be a good contact for you. So.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
I think too, to Deacon Joe's comment, I think particularly for the immigrant or refugee community that now are part of our diocese, I think that there's also an opportunity by way of parish membership to help shepherd folks that are new not only to our country but our diocese. So I think that there's some things that we can do, Joe, to make sure that other members of the parish or that community in Iowa City, we can help bridge it.
Actually more than a couple of things. First of all, just because I am aware of, there are a lot of people who right now are not comfortable going to an in-person meeting. I would encourage, reach out to the diocese and get help on trying to incorporate people from, and also because if you to make contact with other parishes,
Yes.
It sure cuts the distance you have to travel if
yes, it does.
Zoom.
Bridges that gap real nice virtually.
Yeah. And then I wasn't sure if we had made you aware of this or not, but we have some Google groups that the diocese has set up. And one of those is Parish Social Action. And you'll see that Glenn Leach and I post all the time from things that come out from the Social Action Office. But the whole point of the Google groups is to allow other people to contribute as well, either information about events or just to start a conversation.
Okay.
So I would really encourage you or somebody else who from the St. Martin de Porres Society at Sacred Heart Cathedral to connect with that and start putting out there what, like, the events that are going on in your parish, especially if they're open to other people.
Sure.
In fact, anybody on this Zoom, same thing for you. If your parish has events going on, please either let me know, or what would be even better, because sometimes I'm not the greatest at getting things out immediately occasionally. join the Google group and post things for your parish out there. I wondered, Thomas, is the flyer that Jane was referencing, do you have like an electronic version of that? Because I would be happy to send that out when we send out follow-up materials for this Lunch and Learn. So she was talking about the one that she found at Sacred Heart after Mass, where she was.
Oh, that was a calendar.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and we just ordered. I should say Jim and Karen Collins have been gracious enough to provide those to the SMD membership and Sacred Heart parishioners. Jim said he ordered another 100, and him and Karen would donate them again in the society's name, and so we will get those out and distributed to the parishes. You know.
Oh, great,
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
great.
so we'll get some out. Yes.
Great. And then I just wanted to second what Mary McHugh said, because previous life I was in education and I was familiar with teaching tolerance, and I think the program is excellent. And the fact that it's been around as many years as it has, I think
Yes.
speaks to the fact that it's effective.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like, if you could forward that information on to me, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Okay. Other questions or comments or?
Thank you.
Yes, thanks so much, Thomas. This has
No
been
problem.
really
No,
interesting.
thank you and Kent for inviting me. And it was nice doing putting together the research and everything with the assistance of Jim, because he's, like I said, he was at the parish a lot longer before I, you know, he was instrumental in me coming back, you know, Sacred Heart. And and I don't know why we just didn't go back to Sacred Heart in the first place when I got married, but it was just, you know, I guess I was helping out down at Lourdes when I was single, and I coached basketball down there and coached at the Rising Knights program. So I knew a lot more people from Lourdes at the time. So I gravitated towards them. And then we liked that when the children got school age, we liked that St. Anthony's had the Sunday catechism. So that's one reason why that's the reason why we switched down there, because their Sundays work better than Wednesday nights.
Right.
So, but yeah, so then Jim and Deacon Dan Hubers are like, well, Deacon Dan's like, well, I grew up with Thomas at Sacred Heart. I don't know why he's not here, you know. And, well, maybe nobody's asked him to come back. So they called me and said, come back. I said, I'm more than happy to come back. I said, you know, so.
That's great. Nothing like a personal invite.
Yeah, and glad to be back at Sacred Heart. Glad to be part of the St. Martin Support Society. I know it's passionate. To my parents, I know my youngest brother is he's named after St. Martin Supporters. You know, so his name's Martin de Porres Mason. You know, and wanted to name one of his children after the first Black saint. You know, in the Americas. So,
Thomas, we would like to work with you on that Black History Month, February, you know, whatever activities you're doing. And if you want to help, like get people to participate in the essay contest, I mean, anything that we can do. I mean, if you want to we'd love to collaborate with you to make sure we can help get the word out.
Great. Thank you.
I guess I do have one more question before I wrap things up, as long as we still have about 10 minutes, I guess.
There is a comment in the chat box.
I'm sorry. Oh, comment in the chat box. Okay. Esmeralda, I'm not seeing it. So after I ask mine, will you take care of that one? I just wanted to ask, so Thomas, if there is somebody at another parish, and maybe it's only one person initially, but they would be interested in participating, would they be able to work with you as part of the group at Sacred Heart until maybe they're able to get more people in their parish involved and form?
Yeah. If they wanted to come individually and work with St. Martin supporters, that'd be great. You know, or if they wanted to, you know, like I said, we're trying to switch our meetings from Sunday, because we know a lot of times a lot of people I know it's tough for us. Well, now our children are a little bit older and they can drive. But sometimes it was tough for us to have it at Sunday mornings, you know, right after the 9 o'clock mass. And then, you know, got to shuffle kids someplace and we got a meeting to attend. So we're looking at having it during the week. Just got to figure out a day with Father Rich and Deacon Dan to see what day that we could host that. So that way we think that would probably open it up to more people to be interested in attending the meetings and working with the ministry.
Great. Well, I can foresee a time where there would be, other St. Martin de Porres societies at other parishes, but it may,
Yes.
when you're trying to spin it up. Esmeralda,
Right.
do you have the question or comment from the chat?
I looked at the chat and I didn't see a question in there.
I didn't either.
So it just, it says, thank you for your time today, Thomas. This was very helpful and informational.
Great. Okay,
Yes.
well, that's exactly what I was going to say. So
Yeah.
before we actually wrap up, I wanted to let everybody know about next month's Lunch and Learn. It will be January 7th. I'm sure we're all going to be really happy to see 2021 start up. I know I am. And we are going to talk about the impact of the CRS Rice Bowl program in our diocese, because the monies that come in through Rice Bowl, a portion of it goes to the national organization or the international organization, but a pretty good chunk of it stays here in the diocese, and we can kind of update you on what happens to that money, what organizations is it going to, what do they do, as well as hopefully offering some insights into how do you keep people engaged in Rice Bowl and maybe even increase participation in the time of a pandemic. It's going to present its own challenges, but we did see last Lent that there were parishes who increased their participation despite the fact that nobody was going to Mass at the time. So I'm hoping a lot of you will join us, if not all of you. Kent, did you want to say anything real quick about Monday night?
Monday night, December 7th at 7 p.m., we have another Zoom event. This one will spotlight the work of Kevin O'Brien from the Davenport Deanery, who is presently working with Catholic Relief Services in the West Bank and Gaza. Another opportunity to hear about the work that our church undertakes in other countries, and again, by way of a native son for the diocese. That particular event you can access by Zoom as you did this one, and if you've signed up for this event, we know how to connect with you and also provide you the link to that opportunity. And with that one, I would say, please join Bishop Zinkula in hearing from Kevin O'Brien. Bishop will be on that call. The other thing I would add is the recording of this. We're so grateful for the in-person audience, the virtual audience today. This, as with other Lunch and Learns, will be recorded for the benefit of those that are not able to make a live event. And I want to echo Amy's word of gratitude, Thomas. I believe that this may be one of those that's watched by a much larger audience than those that are merely with us over this noon hour. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome. That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. It was, like I said, it was enlightening me as well as everybody that joined the call, and I look forward to working with everybody and to spread the word of St. Martin's de Porres and racial unity, and nothing else but to meet some other fellow great Catholics.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you so very much. And I hope everybody gets a chance to enjoy the sunshine outside today. And we hope to see you again next month at the Lunch and Learn.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Be safe and be well, everybody.
Thank you.